Happy Tuesday, YouTube. I hope you guys' week is off to an amazing start. Mine sure is. Yesterday, I wrote 3 applications for Polish Roman Catholic. Put about 8 hours of screen time, definitely over 5 hours of talk time. And it's a grind. It's not easy. That's why I always say that telephone sales is not for everybody. The idea sounds good. It sounds easy. And also the thought of working from your home office, for some, it's an amazing opportunity. But telephone sales is not for everybody. Agents fail. As I looked at a class that we kicked off 60 days ago, the class was made up of 8 new trainees that we kicked off. And out of those 8 trainees, we only got 5 that are still in the game, that are still working, that are having success. And all of these, except for one of those 5, is writing over 25% plus in closing ratios on live transfers, as well as callback leads. Not to mention all the age leads that they have in their database, they're closing deals. But when I take a look at the other 3 agents that we had to terminate or they quit, it just, reminds me again of just how many people out there, they want to make money, they want to make 6 figures a year, but they just can't muster the fact that it's going to take hard work to get it done. People these days, they expect handouts, they expect free things, and they don't want to put in the work necessary to make it happen. In my case, it took me 15 years of only doing one product to build a residual income for my family. 15 years. Over the course of 15 years. It didn't happen in the first year. It took time, dedication. And a lot of these guys, they jump at an opportunity, they're gung-ho, they're eager to start, they want to get going, but then when they realize the grind that's required day in, day out, day in, they start getting affected. They get affected by the resistance. They get affected by clients that are rough around the edges, and their emotions get affected. In sales, you can't be that way. You got to have a thick skin if you're in sales. If a client says no to you, who cares? Move on to the next lead. But what I've noticed with a lot of these agents that fail, they get affected. And that's one of the biggest reasons why they never have success in the sales business, is because they get emotional, they get affected by the resistance or the negativity. Hey, if it was easy, everybody would do it. But it's not. It requires the agent to have a tough mentality and understand exactly the type of service that we provide for our client. Burial insurance. 76% of Americans, according to studies, are living paycheck to paycheck. Think of that. And over 70% of Americans don't have $1,000 in an emergency fund, according to the New York Post, if they had an emergency. Now imagine you lose a loved one, your spouse, your child, and you have to come out of pocket within 24 to 48 hours to pay for those costs associated with the funeral. Where's the money going to come from? Social Security only pays $255. The VA has very limited benefits for our veterans. And if somebody doesn't have the money to pay for the funeral, then the state comes in, covers the cost, but then again, they keep the remains and they bury the remains in an undisclosed place. Think about that. A lot of people don't realize just how important having a burial policy is in place. And that's why I say that these agents don't realize the tremendous problem that we solve as final expense agents for our community. But then again, when they get Miss Betty, who's a little rough around the edges, and she's a little, resistant, they get affected. And instead of looking in the mirror and identifying, hey, maybe it's me, maybe I'm weak, maybe I'm letting these people get to my head and they're selling me, like Grant says, something's going to happen on the sale. Either they're going to sell you or you're going to sell them. Someone is going to close someone. And typically, the agent gets closed on the negativity and the resistance. When I was in the field, same thing would happen. Not every agent makes it in the field. When an agent would, the first day out in the field, he was all gung-ho, knocking on doors. But after day in, day out, they start looking at the negative of going out and knocking on doors. And they start getting affected and having paralysis by overanalyzing everything. And then next, they're off to a new opportunity. Because these people are just looking for the quick, rich scheme that's going to happen overnight. And that's never, ever going to happen. You got to put in the work. You got to skill up. Because if you don't, you're just going to be mediocre and working for minimum wage. Because that's what's going to happen. Minimum wage is what's going to happen. If you want to make the big money, you're going to have to do things that push you to learn how to make presentations, how to close deals, and to also listen to your client's needs. So if you're sitting here on a Tuesday and you're struggling, really look in the mirror first before you go and jump to another opportunity. Chances are it's all within the 6 inches between your ears, guys. Mindset. So, with that said, if you want to learn how to do the phones and you got what it takes, you're a hard worker, you're coachable, and you're committed to following through on your word, give me a call. I would love to talk to you. We provide free leads to our agents. And the agents that are performing, they're doing over 25% closing ratio. And if you don't want to take the free leads, we can negotiate a contract with you, and you can go ahead and pay for your own leads. Not a problem. We can help you with that as well. So, guys, you guys enjoy your week. I'm enjoying this rainy weather here in California. And see you guys at the top. Peace.